This is the Paltalk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show, and I remind you once again that you need to see our newly relaunched Paltalk News Network site at paltalknewsnetwork.com if you want to know what's really going on in this world of ours. A lot of stuff that you may or may not see, hear, or read in the mainstream media. There's an excellent essay just recently posted about an attempt to ban a book in Oklahoma. Because it's a children's book, and it's Buster Goes to Vermont or something like that. Anyways, there's one line in the book where Buster visits his friend's house, and the mommy and daddy are really mommy and mommy. And all it says in there is that Buster met so-and-so's parents and named them by name, both female names. And that's enough to try to get the book banned. Very interesting. I want to tell you that tonight the President of the United States will try to refocus his administration. I've been writing pretty extensively about it on the Paltalk News Network site. I think his battle tonight is a greater one than the one when he was running for president, because when he ran for president, he had never assumed an elected office in which he had to be the chief executive. He was a senator, both a U.S. senator and prior to that a state senator, that's a legislator. So he really didn't have a track record to defend or promote or for the opposition to run against. And he promised all this change and hope. And he has not managed in the first year anyway to fulfill some of those promises. And he is aware of the polling. And so we're told that tonight there will be more promises about the federal budget and jobs. I'm going to get into that in just a little bit, but I want to set the scene for our coverage here on the Paltalk News Network. We will be discussing the president and his vision for America in the next 365 days during this program. And you'll have opportunity during the afterglow from 6 to 7 p.m. New York time, hosted by Cassandra Wood. And following that, of course, America Works with Saul Lockman. But it's going to be a special 2-hour edition of America Works that will take you up until 9 o'clock when the president begins his address to a joint session of Congress, at which time I and Alan Jacey will be joining Saul to anchor our coverage. We will be bringing you complete and uninterrupted not only the president's State of the Union address, but the GOP response to it. And then following that, we will once again allow for you to comment on what the president had to say and what the GOP had to rejoin. And joining us will be 2 candidates for Congress on the Republican ticket. The first one, Jennifer Horn, who you all know as a regular contributor to the Paltalk News Network. She is running as a Republican for Congress in New Hampshire. The other one is my good friend, attorney Liz Burney, who is running for the Republican nomination for the seat now held by Democrat Gary Ackerman in New York State. I believe the district covers Queens, New York, and portions of Long Island. And they will be presenting their analysis, as well as Bill Silberg, our medical correspondent here on the Paltalk News Network, who is a dyed-in-the-wood Democrat. And I just noticed that I may have trouble hearing you guys because, let me see if I can fix that. I don't know if I can fix that. That's interesting. Well, hopefully I will be able to hear you guys respond to me here. Talk about operator error. Forget about the operator error with my computer today. A lot of people wondered what happened to Gary. You know that show, Where's Waldo? Or Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Well, I guess everybody was wondering where was Gary because I disappeared yesterday in the middle of my show. The camera was still running. You could still see the studio, but Gary had vanished into thin air. Well, truth be told, we opened a new studio at the Paltalk offices in New York City. And I usually walk out of the studio during the break to get some more water. And I leave the speakers on while I do that. So what I do is I close the door so that the commercials, the spots that Boaz is playing, won't permeate through the office while people are trying to work. Well, the stupid door locked behind me. And nobody has a key. So I was locked out of my own studio. I mean, come on. How stupid is that, huh? And I called the building office. I said, hey, I got locked out of my studio. They said, well, that's your problem. The studio is not the outside door. It's an inside door. You're responsible for it. I said, yeah, but I got to get back in there. So they set a guy up, if you met him, ladies, you would say, oh, look at this nice, quiet, studious-looking guy with glasses, good-looking fella, but the impression you get from him is that he's, like a bookworm, but he works as an engineer at maybe to work his way through the university, one of those kind of guys. And he tried and he tried and he tried and he couldn't break into the studio. He says, I'll be right back. So he left and he came with a guy who's a nice fella, don't get me wrong, but when I looked at him, I said, this guy looks like an auto thief or something. Well, he had a little device called a Slim Jim.